On the once again most demanding series CSS Beginners to Advanced series. So today we will be starting with CSS Beginners to Advanced, and we will be completing this entire series in this week. So we will be having this series only 4 days a week: Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, Friday. And the series time will be approximately 1 hour to 1.5 hours. So please don't ask again and again what will be the time. I hope my voice is clear to all of you. So can someone be confirm please that you will be able to view my screen and or will able to hear my voice or not? I request someone to please comment with yes, voice, audio and video. Okay. So that we will start with CSS. Today we will be completing the CSS basics part, and tomorrow we will be having some part of CSS basics and CSS flex. After that, on Thursday, we will take you through CSS Grid and yeah. Thanks, Manikan. Thanks, Anshul. Thanks, yeah, thanks. That seems you that thanks. Thanks, Anshul. Yeah, perfect. So that's you all. Like that means that it proves that you all are very interested for this series because as soon as I asked you, all people just replied. So thanks for the comment. Thanks for your activeness, and we will soon start in some after some couple of seconds. Let's wait for some more people to join. Okay. So as you all know, you all have a chance to get the participation certificate, and today in this series we will start from this series only. I will repeat this in the end also. We will have some round of questions. Fine. So in case any other candidate will reply to all the questions, we will uh, we will be. Can you build some project? Yes, we will build some project on Friday, on the last day. We will do some. We will have a project also in our series. We will have a project also, so no need to worry. And okay, going back to the point, we if any of you replies to our set of questions, we will prepare a set of questions. I guess 4 or 5 questions we will take it from each topic. So if any of you will reply to the questions, the first one, not the all one, we will publish his name on the certificate. What we will be publishing in our WhatsApp groups, in the LinkedIn's, like that. One second. Fine. So today we will be covering CSS Basics. Tomorrow also some part of CSS Basics, and we will try to complete CSS Grid. Sorry, CSS Flexbox tomorrow. On Wednesday we don't have a class. On Thursday we will start with CSS Grid, and on Friday we will be having one project. So that's all will the schedule. The class will be of around 1 to 1.5 hours. It depends upon the topics by when we will complete it. So don't ask again and again. You all will have a chance to get the participation certificate. We will be sharing the YouTube. We will be sharing the attendance form in the YouTube live chat only, nowhere else. So you are all requested to please fill the form there only. Don't ask the form again and again. And let me share the YouTube link also. 35. 1 second. Oh, sorry. So you can join the WhatsApp group by clicking the link. Please ignore the earlier one because by mistake it's a typing error. So I guess let's start with the JavaScript. Oh, sorry, the CSS series now. So what is CSS? CSS is basically cascading style sheet. And let me once again brief the schedule for all the new joinees. We will be covering this CSS week 4 days: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday. Wednesday will be off. And usually we don't have any classes on Wednesday because we will be having a doubt session on Wednesday, which is yes, one very important thing. We will be having a weekly one-to-one with the students for their career related doubt around 9:45 p.m. only on Wednesday. In case you have any doubt related to your career, related to your job, related to something, you can ask. You can join us. So for this, I request you all to please join the WhatsApp group, and there only we will be sharing the career related one-to-one YouTube live session link, which we will be having on every Wednesday around 9:45, 9:30 p.m. So that will be a time in which you all, I can say, all will be in a comfortable position to join. So just prepare a set of questions which you will be looking for. Just prepare a set of questions for the answers which you will be looking for, so that you can be able to get the answer there in the live. So don't be shy. Just join. Either you can have a set of questions which you feel shy to ask. So if you are there, you can. It might be possible that someone other can ask that set of questions. So let's start with CSS now. Already we have 6 minutes up. So now moving on to the CSS part. CSS, what is CSS? CSS is basically cascading style sheet, which will help to design or beautify the HTML part. Simple. So don't try to go deep into the things. We have designed the course in such a way so that we will be linking the theoretical and the theoretical with the practical, and doing more hands-on with the practical, which will help you out to grasp the things in an easy manner. Don't mug up the things, don't rectify the things, just try to learn the things, try to link the things. The course is designed in a very easy manner, very smooth manner, and in a very layman manner. Not it is like a high fundu course. It's a very simple course. We have designed it in a very simple manner. In case you have any doubts, you can please ask us. But let me tell you one thing: I will not be able to answer as soon as you ask it. So wait for some time. I will reply, or someone from the team will reply. Okay. So now I will not be able to see the chat. I will not be able to see the chat now. Now going to the main topics. So there are three ways in which you can add CSS. CSS is basically a CSS is basically governed by W3 school, which governs the HTML part also. A major upgradation has been happened in the CSS part and the HTML part in 2015, where CSS Grid and CSS Flexbox has been added, and some color properties has been added here that I will tell you later on in the part when it will come. So let us create a basic HTML skeleton. HTML earlier we used to type this, but this will not work. The exclamation mark will not work. So we will have to use HTML5 because we are working on the HTML5 part. So CSS basics we will be covering today, and this will show open with live server. And here, so by default my web browser is Safari, so it is opening on Safari only. So to later on I will shift to Google Chrome. So here, how many ways are there to add CSS? There are three ways in which you can add CSS. Fine. So let us take them one by one. Let us have inline CSS is the first one. internal CSS is the second one. External CSS is the third one. So there are three ways in which you can add CSS. First one is the inline CSS. Second one is the internal CSS, and the third one is the external CSS. So with the help of these three ways, you can add CSS to any of the HTML element. So how it works? So first one, as the name says, in line means in the same line. So here, this is how you can add the inline CSS. So as you all can see here, in the same line, using the style property, I have added the background color. The name of the color is aqua, and I have added it. So as you all can see, the inline CSS has a background color of color aqua. This is how you can add the inline CSS property. So now, using the how to add internal CSS. So in this internal CSS, okay, so Dolphin King, you have to use the HTML and press the tab. Use HTML5. HTML5. It will work. Recently, it has come into a change. I can say by Friday or Saturday only. It has changed. So fine. So now going back to the topic. Okay, internal CSS. So what is internal CSS? Internal CSS is a property in which you can add CSS to an HTML element. As the name says, internal means in the same HTML file, inside the HTML. So for this, here using a style tag, we will use the h2, open the curly brackets, and let's change the background color to hash #F0000. So it's a red color which I have added in this internal CSS using the internal CSS property. Fine. So this is how you can add internal CSS. So now what is the third one? External CSS. So as the name simply says, external means externally you will be linking your CSS file to this HTML file. So it is absolutely correct. So for this, we will be using style.css. The name of the file is style, and .css is the extension. As the HTML have the extension of .html, similarly CSS file has the extension of .css. So here, let us apply the external CSS on this h3. So we will have the h3, opening the curly brackets, and we'll change the background color of this h3 in the form of RGB format. 1 second, why it is not coming? Let me see. So we will use 100, 100, 455. Let us see which color is there. But as soon as I am saving this file, it is not reflecting here. Why? Because we are in the external CSS in which we need to link this style.css file to this index.html. For this, we will be using the link command and saving it. So now here, as soon as I saved it, this color has started coming in the external CSS. So this is how you can add, this is how you can add CSS to any HTML file with the help of these three properties. So now let us have a simple understanding of CSS selectors. What are CSS selectors? So let me have a simple font size of 10 px. So 1 second. So here, as you all can see, this piece of paragraph tag, this P is a selector. After this entire thing, which is inside the curly brackets, starting from font size, this is the declaration. This entire thing is a declaration. This font size is the property, and this 10 px is the value. So this whole thing is called as a CSS selector. So here, this entire thing is a declaration. This is the property, and this is the value. So removing it, because we don't have any P here. So now let us have, so my dear friends, in case if you feel I am going very fast, please let me know. I will slow down my speed. Or in case you feel my speed is normal, please let me know. So I just want someone to please let me know with my speed. Is it fine, or you want me to speed up, or you want me to speed down, or you want me my speed is okay? So can someone please reply? So my speed is fine. I guess my speed is fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, thanks, Prakash Chandra. Thanks. So let us move ahead now. Moving on to the next property in CSS, which is called as the colors property. So in how many ways you can add colors in CSS? As you all can see, yeah, thanks, Sushmita. As you all can see here only, in making you understand the background color property, I have added color first in the form of name, simply typing the name of the color. Second, using this hash format, and third in this RGB format. All works for the same. What same means? Yeah, thanks, Dolphin King. All work same. What same? All are adding color. Nothing new in it. But the method is different. You can use any of the one, but every color addition property has a limitation. Why limitation? Because in this aqua you can add a colors of, I can say, around 140 colors. There's a limitation in which you can add 140 colors only. They will show you HTML color. So HTML, 1 second. Email color list which is being provided by the W3 schools. One second. Yeah. So this is the ideal site in which you can refer to get the color codes. Fine. So as you all can see here, in case if you are looking for blue, see how many colors are there in the blue. So the name of the color is light steel blue, powder blue, light sky blue. So these are the limitations in the names of the colors. Fine. So let me go back to the topic. So here, first one is simply typing the name of the color, which we all know as red, green, blue, orange, white, purple. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Reddy. Thanks, Swarup. So first one is simply typing the name of the color. Second format is the hexadecimal format, which I have picked up for this H2 tag. As I can say, most of you are from the engineering background or for a technical background or from a computer science background or from an IT background in which you have learned number systems. So this hexadecimal code has been taken, this concept of adding more colors will be taken from this hexadecimal number system only, which starts with hash and contains 6 digits, 6 alphanumeric digits starting from A to F and 0 to 9. Fine, A to F and 0 to 9. The terminology, the working method is almost same. Why it is being used? Because in order to have the more space to add colors. Because if you start from A to Z, you can have only 24 colors. If you start from 1 to 100, you can add only 100 colors. But if you see here, if you see here, if in pink, you can have the color pink has the hexadecimal code as this. Fine. Light pink, hot pink, deep pink, pale violet pink, and medium violet. Even I have not listened to this such kind of names. So this is the site which you can refer in order to link your imagination with the actual color code. Because sometimes it happens that you want some kind of color but not actually to that strength or that saturation or of that brightness. So this site will help you to identify that color. Fine. So here you have the name of the color and the hexadecimal code. So simply let me pick here this, or let me have this khaki color. Control C, and here Control V, and saved it. So this H2 color changed to khaki. Fine. Now in the third pattern which we have seen is the RGB format. What is this RGB format? RGB format is the name simply says as red, green and blue. So any color have a combination of red, green and blue only. So in this pattern, you can have, or let me tell you in a very simple manner, the RGB has a range from 0 to 255. So you can put any number between the range of 0 to 255, which will give you up with a color. So randomly I have put 100, 100 and 255, and here the color is here. But if I want to change the color, simply move your mouse to here and select it, the color of your choice. Simply click it. See the RGB values is getting changed. It's 134, 75, 138, 22. So you can pick any color of your choice. It is from here lighter to darker. So now let us see it is some kind of like the color. So this is how. Can you please explain about toast and also how to use them? Toast. Pranjal, I can say one thing. I have a structure in me. I will be going you with the same structure only. Toast will also come. Fine. Let me from take you from basics. Then we will add toast in between. Okay. 1 second. What I did. One minute. 1 minute. Okay, fine. Some wrong mouse click has happened here. Fine. So now let us move on to the next property in CSS, which is called as the font properties. So as you all can see, we have written inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. We have a by default font here. So let us add 1 second. Please do remember, always use semicolon to end a line. So well, let's have font size of 24 px. 24 px looks very small. Let's have 50 px. So now it is looking nice. So now let us have an introduction of font family. Or let me go back. So now, as you all can see, uh, every content has a font by default font here, which is picked up by the browser. So in order to change the font, we have a command called font family. So let us use this Arial, Helvetica, and sans serif. So in this font family, why we have three type of fonts? You can give single font name also, but by default, system will take minimum three fonts. The first one is the font which applies to the HTML. Second, third, and after, I can say after first, all will be the fallback fonts. What are fallback fonts? These fonts are those fonts which are those when in case your browser does not support the first font, it will pick the second available font what we have given. So in case if you see my by default available browser is Safari, and if it does not support, assuming if it does not support the Arial font, it will pick up the next available font which I have given is Helvetica. So in case if assuming the second scenario, I am using I am opening this code in Google Chrome and Chrome does not support Arial and Helvetica, so it will pick up the third font which I have given is the sans serif. Instead of using their by default available font, they will pick up the font which we have given. This is why minimum 2 to 3 fallback fonts will be given, because not I am using all the time Safari browser, not you were using the Chrome. There are many available browsers in the industry. People use as per their choice. So that is the reason. So now going back to Google Fonts. So As you all know, Google is now into our part and parcel of our life. So in addition to this, they have added or they have introduced their fonts also. So as you all can see, by default it has picked up the Open Sans. One second. So, see, as you all can see, these are there are so many fonts being invented by the Google. See, these are the fonts being invented by the Google. So let us pick up any of the one and one second. Let us pick up this LoRa. So we will be using this LoRa 400 italic. Just click here and one second. Just click here, click here, click here. Fine. Now click on this. Double click on the code. Use Control C. Go back to our code and in the top Control V. So now let us add LoRa so one second. Let me have font family as LoRa. See, this has been changed now. I have used only LoRa. Using the comma, you can use other fonts also. Why I use once? Because I am using this only here. So now this is how you can add the Google fonts in your page. Why to add Google fonts? Because without Google you can't do anything. Google are now deep into your life, and this is, and you all can see here, most of the sites are these days using Google fonts only. Why Google fonts only? Because Google fonts are the fonts being developed for these days, and these fonts are actually adding lives to your pages. Traditional fonts were Arial, Times New Roman, Times New Roman, Times New Roman, Helvetica, Sans Serif, and dot. So many fonts are there, but now things are more ahead here. So now let us go to the next important property in the CSS, which is called as the units of measurements. As you can see here, I have written PX. PX stands for pixel. As now you all are using the smartphones, you all know what is PX. Another unit is called as the EM. But if I change it to 5 EM, see, EM is again a very important property here. Fine. And last one is the REM. REM. So there are basically three units of measurement. First one is the PX, it stands for pixel. Second one is the EM. Third one is the REM. Now, why these three units are required? Why? Because PX and REM works independently, and EM property will work on the dependency of its parent. Fine. So here, let me tell you one two thing which can be an interview question also. In inline internal and external, external is the most common use pattern of adding CSS. After the external is the inline pattern. Internal, I can't say no one is using internal. And in the units of measurement, um, px and rem is being used commonly. Em, as it depends on the parent div, is not being used so much. So external and inline, and in unit px and rem. Fine. So now let us have one second. Let us have the next important property of CSS, which is called as the classes and IDs. What are classes and what are IDs? Classes and IDs are basically used to identify an object or identify an element, or used to target. Classes and IDs are being used. Classes, as the name says, uh, classes can be used multiple times. Very important property. Classes can be used multiple times, and ID can only be used one time. Fine. Classes, in order to identify a class, a dot is being used as a prefix, and in order to identify an ID, hash is being used as a prefix. So these are the basic terminologies. Now let's have a practical. So now removing it, clearing my screen so as to get some space, saving it here, also removing this style. So now let us have a div, and in this div we'll have a lorem content. Fine. What is this lorem content? So lorem is a dummy text which will appear without having any logic. If I have to type this much of content, I first need to think what I have to type. So this problem will be solved by the lorem. Simply type lorem, enter. By default, any content will come here, which will help you out. So now let us create another div, and we'll have a lorem of 30. So and we'll have a property called as br. Br means break row, which creates spaces. So now here we will have a class. The name of the class will be top, and here we will be using, oh sorry, what happened here? One second. Now let me open it in the live server, this live server in the Google Chrome, because from here the story ends of this. Fine. So here let us have the ID here, and the name of the ID is bottom. So now let us go. Let us have, always make it a thumb rule. Copy the class name. Even you know the name of, even you know the spelling, copy it. So dot s, I am targeting using class, and this is an ID. So hash ID name, enter. Now let us have font size of 5 rem, and here we will have font size of 2 rem. Fine. So this is how you can target classes and IDs. Classes and IDs are used to target any element. IDs as with the help of hash, and classes with the help of dots. So now moving on to the next important property in CSS, which is called as a box model. So I can, is it okay with all of you? So now let us have the box model property. Let me create a basic structure. So I will be okay, Nivedita. Okay, fine. So now let us, for this, in order to explain this box model, just one second, just focus here. So here, yeah, thanks Sushmita, yeah, thanks Ronak. As you all can see, this is the dummy content, and here, see, this is the box model. So this is the content. Please focus on my cursor, the cursor pointer. This is the content. Outside this content have a padding. Please focus here. Padding is all across, means top, right, bottom, and left. Now outside this padding has a border. Border is also all across, top, right, bottom, and left. And outside this border have a margin. Margin is also all across, means top, right, bottom, and left, sorry. So now let us design the box model. So here we will have a class called top. So now here dot class name will have a border of 5px. Save it. One second. Here, one second. Solid of green color. So here, what I did, I have a border of 5px. The border will be of a solid form, means straight solid border, and the border has a color of green color. Now let us have a padding outside this border of 20px. So as you all can see, the space of 20px has created across all. Let me adjust it. Fine. Now outside this padding will have a margin of 30px. So as you all can see, 30px from left, 30px from top, 30px from right, and 30px from bottom space has been created. So this is how a box model will work. This is a very important property, and this box model is being used across all. Now let us have some shortcuts, because shortcut will add creativity in your work. So in case if I want padding, only on the top, please read this: padding top, padding bottom, padding left, padding right. Fine. So these are the four ways in which you can add padding. Padding from the top, I want 20 px, and if I want padding, use shortcut PB, padding bottom. If I want padding from the bottom, I want 50 px. See the spaces. It is 20 px, it is 50 px. Similarly, you can use the padding on the left side of 60 px and padding on the right side of 80 px. See, this is how it works. Similarly, you can use margin, margin top, margin, margin bottom. Now let us save it out first. Now margin, margin left, some issue with it. margin, margin right. So this is how it works. Fine. Either you can have a same property all around, or either you can have separate values all around. So this is how you can have this thing. So now let's move on to a very important property in CSS, which is called as the addition of some more font properties here. So let us have some more font properties, which is called as the font weight. Font weight, let us have to rem. So the font weight, bold. See, the contents are bold now. Let us increase the font size to 3 rem. Now it will look nice. So now let's have the another font property, which is called as the font style. You can have the italic. Fine. So we'll have some more font styles, which is called as the text decoration. You can use the text decoration as anyone you can choose. Underline, text transform. You can use the uppercase. Capitalize means the first letter will be capital. Fine. So now the another will be the line height. Will have the 0.5 rem. Oh, it is very less, so 0 will have the 3.5. Let me change it to 5.5. So this line height property will actually create space between the lines. Fine. Now we'll have the letter spacing. Letter spacing will have 0.2 rem. See, spaces between the letters has increased. Now, similarly to letter spacing, we'll have the word spacing. .8 rem. See, spaces between these words are increased. So these properties are very useful, very commonly used. These are called as the font properties. So now let me go on to the next important topic, which is called as the styling of list. So for this, 1 second, let me create a simple list now. 1 second, div. Inside this div will have h2 category, and in this we have another. Inside already we have this into 5. This is again a very important shortcut. So 5 times LIs has been created now. So now, oh no, this it isn't run perfectly. So we will have 1 second. Ordered list inside is li into 5. Sorry, it is not working. So we will have li inside this li. We will have 1 second. Some issue. I will not be able to add anchor tags here. So no need to worry. Let us have this li's. 1 second. Li into 5. So after some changes in this VS code, no, there is some errors started coming now. Control Z, Control Z. Li to 5. Oh, fine, perfect. Now it works. So this is the shortcut. We will have this hash here. Category 1. Category 3. Category 5. So here As you all can see, we have created a styling of list here, and in which we will be doing the styling part here. Fine. So now let us have a class. The name of the class will be cat. So let us copy this cat now. Cat is the name of the class. Now let us have dot class name, and we'll have a border of 5p x solid of green color. So a border has created now. Now let's have some padding of 10 px and have a border radius property of 10 px. So border radius property will actually remove the sharpness of these edges. Fine. So now let us create, or let us target this header tag dot category h2, and we'll have the text align as center. So this header category has changed their position from right to the center. Now let us target the unordered list, and we will have the padding as 0. Now see what 0 will work. So 0 will shift the entire thing towards the left. One second. And so now let us have some more properties in order to look our HTML perfect. So we'll have the list of the styling as none. So as you all can see, this dots has removed now. Now let us create some more styles to this anchor tag. One second. Dot class name. We will have text decoration as none. So the underlines has removed now, and we will use the color to black. This color has changed to black now. Now again, we will be adding some more properties. A very important property which is called as the pseudo class property, which we will be applying in the anchor tag, which is called as the hover property, which is changing the color to red as soon as my mouse moves on it. See, red, 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 red. Here it is not working because we have added here only. Fine. So now let us have some more properties here. One second, let us have some more properties here in order to have our list look more attractive. Let us add here in the list item, have the padding in the bottom to 6p x, so that space has added now. Now we will have border in the bottom of 1p x dotted with blue color. See, this I can say we will have our styling of list looks very nice. Fine. So now let us have let us switch on to the next important property in CSS, which is called as the styling of forms. So now clearing the screen, and we'll be creating a form. I will be creating a form in HTML. One second. In this form, we will have a div, and inside this div, have a label, and in this label we will have the input input type also. So let me label for is not required. Label is name. In this div, let us have a class name as form group, and here also form we need a class as my form, and label is fine, and input type we will have a name as name. So now saved it. Now let us copy it. So input type email, and in this email we will have this name as email, and in the last we will have the label as message, and we will have, instead of this input type, we will use here this text area property, and here we don't want the column and rows to be declared. In this text area we want the name as message, and nothing is required. And after this div we will be having a input type button, and we will have input type as submit, and we'll use a class. The name of the class we will have as button only, and the value will be submit. This is a basic form what we have created. So now we will be covering the style part here. So the day one means today's attendance form has been shared in the live YouTube chat. So let me show it to all of you. So the day one attendance form has been shared here. It is in the front of your screen. Please fill it in order to get the participation certificate. Fine. So please fill the attendance form and submit it. We are not sharing any other form, attendance form, anywhere. Only here we will be sharing this form. So let us have the styling of form first. So now let me copy the class name, Control C, and have dot my form, opening the curly brackets. Let's have a padding of 20 px. So as you all can see, from across space has been added. Now dot my form space dot, the second class what we have created is the form group. Copy it, dot form group, curly brackets open, second dot form. What happened? Uh, uh, form. Now it is fine. Typing error. That form group. Now targeting both the class will have the padding in the bottom of 12 px. So this is working fine now. Or let us change to 15 px. Now it look nice. Now let us target dot my form and will target the label part first, and we'll have the display as block. Now what has happened, this block property will actually put things one below the another. Now let us target this button with the class as button. Dot button will have background color, change it to blue. Background color will change it to blue, and let us remove the border as none, and we'll have some padding of 20 px. Fine. Let us increase the font size also to 30 px and change the color of the font to white, and let's have some margin from the top of 20 px, so it comes a little bit down. So have the border radius of 10 px so that the edges are now sharp, and have the font weight to bold. Now it looks nice. And now let us have a hover property which is called as a pseudo class property in the button. So we will have the color to blue and background color to white. See the magic now. As soon as I move the mouse on this, the background color have changed to white and font color have changed to blue. This is the hover property function. So here let us use dot form group. We will target the label and have the fit to 100%. Also dot my form will use the width to 100%. So now here the styling is completed now. Scaling of form is completed. Now moving on to the next important property in the CSS, which is called as the alignment and floating property. Let me clear my screen. So what is alignment and what is floating? As the name simply says, alignment means aligning things somewhere in the screen, or floating means float or move some things on the screen. This is simply in a layman language, you can link or you can say the alignment and floating part. So for this alignment and floating part, let us have a basic structure in order to understand the use of this. So let us have a div. Inside this div we'll have a h2, and after this h2 will have a paragraph with the lorem of dummy content. So in this div, let us have a class to target this div, and the class will be of block name, and we'll have this as 𝐏𝐸𝐴𝐷𝑁G heading 2, and let me copy it, control V, heading 3, heading 4. See, all have heading 2, 3 and 4 with the same class. So now, assuming we want all these things to be aligned vertically using the 33.3% of the available space, for this a feature called float will help you out. The 33.3% property will help you out to align the things perfectly from horizontally to vertically. Simply a single line float left with width to 33.33%. Now, in case if we have in case if we have uh, 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 in case if we have only two headers with us, so let us comment it out, and we want, so let me change the class name also as block1, control as. Now dot block1, we will float this to the right with the width of 50%, and here also I will tell to use the width of 50%. Now it is using half of the available space. Now let us add some padding here. Adding of 15 px and add a border of 5 px solid of orange red color. Similarly, we will be applying to the second one also. Now here, as you all can see, the mess up has happened because padding have and border have created some space which is not perfectly aligning the things properly in the web page. So for this, we have a property called as box sizing border box, which applying to both the classes will fix this issue. This is how this property will work. So I can say by now you all have filled the attendance form, and today we will be closing our class here only. Tomorrow same time we will be covering the CSS basics remaining part, and we will complete the Flexbox also. So thank you. Thanks all. Bye.